Admiral Jim Stockdale was a U.S. naval fighter pilot during the Vietnam War. His plane was shot down and he was taken as a prisoner of war by the Vietnamese. And he was a prisoner of war for 7 years. The Vietnamese war prisons were inhumane torture chambers, and a lot of prisoners of war did not survive those torture chambers. And it was in these prisons of war that Admiral Stockdale learned something very profound about surviving a crisis. So as our world is currently going through a global pandemic, I want to share with you an extremely profound lesson on how to survive a crisis. During his time as a prisoner of war, Admiral Stockdale realized that there were two kinds of prisoners who did not survive the Vietnam prisons. First were the pessimists. They saw no hope. They gave in. They succumbed to the endless tortures and died as a result. Surprisingly, the second kind of prisoners of war who did not survive were the optimists. The optimists with rose-colored glasses. They believed that somehow they would be out by Christmas. And when Christmas would come and go, they believed that somehow they would be released by Easter. And that turned to Thanksgiving. And that turned to next Christmas. And they died of a broken heart. So what kind of prisoners of war survived those torture chambers? Well, those prisoners of war had a very different mindset. On the one hand, they had a strong belief that they would prevail in the end. But on the other hand, they were able to face the most brutal realities of those prisons as they existed every single day without losing the faith that they would survive, that they would prevail in the end, no matter how difficult the hardships were going to be. And that is the Stockdale paradox. When we are faced with a great crisis or calamity, we cannot be blindly optimistic or totally pessimistic. Instead, we must have the unwavering faith that we will survive, and we must face the gravity of the situation. We must confront the brutal reality of the day, and we must handle the challenges that are in front of us. That, my friends, is the way to handle a crisis. So if you learned something powerful from this video, make sure to share this video with a friend or a colleague who needs to hear this message today. Alright guys, stay strong and do greatness in this world.